board. But it would come under the under the area of sports psychology. So there's some thoughts on your mindset, just generally speaking, and then we're going to get into some of the particulars. So game reps. This is, what we're ultimately building for is your ability to perform at your best in a game. And so you start to see some words like focused, what it is that you're gonna focus your attention on, and on all the preparation that we're gonna do with this. And this obviously a game of competition against someone else. In practice, those practice reps, you've probably got about a ratio of, all said and done, probably about 10-to-1 practice reps to game reps. So you want to take advantage of all those practice reps. This is what I kind of want to focus on here, because this is what we can do right now, you guys. Working out on your own, and in that sense, you're competing against yourself. And so how do you get in the best place to do that when it comes, okay, got it. Well, one, you got to care for your body. So we talked about nutrition. And the other side of that would be to prepare mentally. And so I want to share a video with you guys. And this is a video of Ken Ravizza, who passed away actually in 2018. And he is a well-known sports psychologist. Met him out when I was out at West Point, and we had a complete sort of enhancement side. They used it both in military training and also in on the athletic side of it. So let me just kind of give you some of his words here about the mental side and the control side of the game.
I'm in control of myself. I have a plan. I trust what I got. Okay. Self-control, big part of it. When we look at being in control of ourselves, what a lot of it involves is awareness, recognition. I see athletic performance like driving a car. You come to an intersection, there's a light. If the light's green, you go. If the light's yellow, better attend to the intersection, check the rearview mirror for a police officer, and make your decision what you're going to do. If the light's red, you got to stop. As an athlete, you need to know what happens to me when I start moving from green lights to yellow lights to red lights, or what we used to talk about when you start spinning. And if you don't catch it early, you spin out of control. And then you start giving at bats away, give games away, and you beat yourself. But the key is if I can recognize it. Now, under the recognition, I've got to recognize these things in myself. What happens to me? What happens in my body? What happens to my thinking? What happens to my behavior? Do I quiet down with my behavior? Do I get internal? What happens with my thinking? Do I get critical, judgmental? Do I get angry? What happens in my body? Does my heart rate increase? Muscle tension increase? Hands feel weird? All of these things, factors play in. We need some of that arousal, but we don't need too much. We're not talking about being relaxed and mellow here because you're competing. We're talking about controlled intensity.
And so I want to just interject for a second here that here we go, we're back. So we want to make sure that when we're dealing with, he's talking about competition, sort of direct competition, but when you're practicing, when you're working out, when you're competing against yourself. And the other side is it's not just when things are going bad, but this also is useful and necessary when things are going good. So it's not just a way to stop something bad, but also to continue something good. And spinning out of control, you can spin out of control in a positive sense. but remaining in control no matter what's occurring, good or bad.
Controlled intensity, and everyone's going to be a little different where they need to be. Okay. The other thing, Chad, that comes into it is once I recognize it, then I've got to release it. I've got to have some way to let it go. Okay. It may be stepping out of the batter's box, undoing the batting grips, let it go, strap them back on. It may be hitting the chute. It may be just the distance you move away from home plate. Whatever the thing is for you to recognize, I'm not where I need to be right now. I'm letting this go, and then I'm regrouping. I'm getting myself back together. Remember we said earlier, you got to be in control of yourself before you control your performance. Misses and he bangs the bat and then he strikes out on the changeup. Versus the kid, he's in there, swings at his pitch, misses it, bangs the bat, comes back, timeout. Who are you going to bet on? Yeah. It's a no-brainer. Absolutely. For the parents, how your child works the process. Did they recognize? Now, just because they take that breath, it doesn't mean they're going to get a hit, drive into, and be a hero. This isn't Disneyland. This is the real world, okay? But as a parent, you can validate your son or your daughter for the way they went about it and gave themselves the best opportunity for success. That's the type of thing that parents need to be attending to, not the damn results. The results are going to take care of themselves. That's okay. But if I can recognize where I'm at, I can release what I need to release, and I can regroup to get to that next pitch. Right? That's huge because now I can think clearly. Okay. Now, for a pitcher, the clearly.
All right, you guys get most of that? I know I cut out twice. You guys kind of got the gist of that?
Yeah.
So this is also something that, you can do. Talk about it's not just sports. I mean, this is something you can do going to school. You can do in the middle of the day in terms of refocusing and giving yourself the best opportunity for success. And so a lot of what he was also talking about was breath and controlling. There's a physical aspect to it. So we'll end up calling it a refocus plan, and that plan will have a deliberate action. It'll everybody will have something different about it, but we'll do that and create that out on the football field. And so it's the last couple minutes here. And this would be some high level stuff that come across when that I created when I was coaching the wide receivers. But so I just want to. You may not play wide receiver or it works for any position. It's just that the details are going to be a little bit different. So I'm just give you a kind of an idea of a thought process for a play. And Dr. Ravizzo talks about breaking things down into the most simple pieces. So, a play is the most simple unit that we end up coming across. And so this is what makes, the way that we break that down. So one would be coming onto the field. And so I'm gonna deal more with the generalities. So right here, prepare body and breath. There's your refocus plan, right? You're calming, preparing your body and breath for what's about to happen. Do something in the huddle, right? We're going to then do something from the huddle to the line of scrimmage. Again, this is applicable for any position. So I'm just going to keep it rather large. You're then going to do stuff at the line of scrimmage. That's obviously a big place, how we start the play, how we put ourselves. very similar to the message. How do we give ourselves the best chance, the best opportunity for success? And so we end up with a checklist of what we do at the line of scrimmage. And then we get into some particulars of the wide receivers, about eyes, stance and start has been and will continue to be a fundamental piece of what we will always work on. And so you'd even see some of that about explosive. These are things we've already talked about. And this last one, this is true for everyone as well. You're either getting better at your stance or you're getting worse at it. So you want to think about which way you want that needle to move every time you get a chance to get in your stance. And then what we do after the play. So play has occurred, execute the details of your assignment. And so after the play, it was show no pain, right? Jog back to the huddle, and you're right back to your refocus plan, your centering. And if we want to do something in a game, which is ultimately what we're preparing for, we need to make sure that we do it in practice. And I would even submit to you that you would be able to do it in your workouts as you go to school, as you end up working through your homework, your assignments, whatever it is that you're working through on the day. And it's a way, especially these days, centering yourself, keeping yourself in the moment, whether or not it was something that was good or bad that just happened to you, trying to remain focused, always trying to give yourself the best opportunity for success on the next rep, be it football, be it next English essay, next math problem, all that stuff. So I appreciate it, guys. And let me stop recording.